The story starts with people enjoying a day at the beach. A boy named Doug is there on vacation with his parents, reading a book. Later, after driving, they reach their lake house and start to unload their things. We see many boats docked by the lake. Doug meets a friend, who tells him that a lot of girls are visiting this year, promising they'll have a great time. He says it's going to be a fun summer. They then head to a local bar where a man unplugs the band's instruments. The music cuts off, and the people in the crowd get angry. But soon, the same man picks up a guitar and starts playing with the band, and everyone loves his performance. Doug's friend puts a crown on his head and says that summer has officially started. After this, Doug goes back to his house and calls out, but he realizes it's empty. He goes to his room and looks at some photos. When he looks out his window, he sees a couple that has just moved in next door. Their names are Elliot and Lena. Doug is captivated by Lena, who is very beautiful. He keeps watching her until they both go inside their house. Doug tries to get another look at Lena. When she glances in his direction, he gets scared and moves away from the window so she won't see him. He then takes his bicycle outside and pretends to fix it, just so he can watch Lena as she bends down to clean dust from her shoe. Later, Doug meets his friend, and they talk about girls again. They take a mat inside an old abandoned boat, where they hear someone laughing from the other side. When he returns home, he sees that the new neighbors are visiting. Doug's father calls him over to meet the new neighbors, who are Elliot and Lena. Elliot says Doug's father told him that he knows a lot about boats. He offers Doug a job working on his boat, promising it pays better than mowing lawns. The next day, Doug goes to Elliot's boat and sees Lena getting out of the water after a swim. As Lena goes to take a shower, Doug watches her. She takes off her clothes, and he continues to stare. Suddenly, Elliot shows up and asks him how the boat is. Doug says the boat just has some light cosmetic damage. Elliot tells him he's going out of town for a few days. When they discuss payment, Doug asks for $12, but Elliot insists on paying him $20. That night, Doug looks over at the neighbor's house again and sees Lena changing clothes in her room. But then Elliot enters and becomes forceful with Lena, which makes Doug look away. The next day, Elliot is driving by the lake when a guard stops him and asks for his ID. As Elliot shows his card, Doug walks up and mentions that the guard is a bit strict. Elliot says he likes that. Later on the boat, Doug asks Elliot how he became so successful. Elliot replies that it's all about money and personality. The scene changes, and Doug watches from his window as Lena leaves to go somewhere. A little later, he hears Lena scream and runs to her. He finds her standing scared next to her car. She was frightened by a spider inside. Doug removes the spider and crushes it. He then helps fix her car, and Lena stands very close to him, making him nervous. Doug tells his friend about what happened, and his friend warns him to stay away from Elliot, who seems dangerous. When Doug comes home from work, he finds Lena sitting outside her house. She tells him she lost her house key and needs his help to get inside. She asks him not to tell anyone, because her husband had told her to be more careful. It suddenly starts to rain. Lena tells Doug to break a window with a rock so he can get in and open the door. Doug agrees, gets inside, and unlocks the door. Lena invites him in for a drink. As they talk, she notices he has a cut. She begins cleaning his wound and softly tells him he'll be okay. Doug then kisses her, but immediately apologizes, saying it wasn't a good idea. But Lena doesn't mind. She tells him to try again properly. They kiss, and she starts taking off her clothes. Doug helps her, and they become intimate. The next day, they wake up in the same bed. Lena tells Doug he was very good. She asks if he has ever been with a girl before. Doug jokes that this was his third time. Lena then lies down next to him. A little while later, Doug goes back to his own house, smiling and feeling happy about the time he spent with Lena. He goes to see his friend, who tells him that he accidentally called him the night before. His friend plays a recording of the sounds from when Doug and Lena were together. His friend then points to some other girls and suggests he could be with one of them, but Doug ignores him. For the next few days, Doug keeps a close watch on Lena and even starts working out for her. One day, while he's working on the boat, Lena arrives. She says that Elliot sent her to check on his work. They go inside the boat's cabin, and Lena asks him to close the curtains. Doug closes the curtains, and Lena starts to flirt with him before taking off her clothes. They kiss and become intimate once more. That night, Doug is working at the bar when Lena comes in with her husband. Doug sees her, but his friend comes up from behind, points to a group of girls, and says he has a good feeling about the night. The next day, while riding his bike, Doug sees Elliot pull over at a shop. He stops too and goes inside. He and Lena sneak out the back door, where they begin to kiss and become intimate once more. but Elliot starts looking for Lena and heads in their direction. Seeing him coming, they stop. Lena gives Doug a quick kiss and then goes back. A little later, Elliot looks at the boat Doug was working on and complains that he isn't doing a good job. He then gives Doug a lecture, saying that he reminds him of his younger self. He says Doug is a hard worker, which is why he gives him so much work. He mentions he is leaving town for a few days. Doug uses this chance to go see Lena. They have a picnic on her bed and share some intimate conversation. Lena gives him a phone, explaining that Elliot is an angry and dangerous man, and the phone will help them talk safely. After this, Doug runs into the kitchen and Lena follows him, but the gardener sees them together through the window. Later, Doug goes toward the boat and is surprised to see Elliot standing on it. He nervously walks to the boat and sees Lena with Elliot. Elliot tells Doug to take the boat out on the water to see if it is seaworthy. During the ride, Elliot almost hits his head on a low beam, but manages to duck in time. Doug gives Elliot some advice about women. Elliot asks if he has a girlfriend, and Doug says yes. The boat's engine suddenly dies, and Elliot goes to check on it. Lena uses the moment to quickly tell Doug that she is thinking about divorcing Elliot. Just then, Elliot comes back and tells Doug to fix the boat. That night, a crying Lena calls Doug. She tells him that Elliot beat her badly and is now left on a business trip. Doug rushes to the hospital and insists that she should tell the police everything, but Lena stops him, and they go home. The next day, while Doug is at work, he gets a call from Lena, who is sunbathing by the lake. She asks him to join her, and the two have sex in an old boat. Lena tells him that she feels free with him. She also tells him about Elliot and his first wife, explaining that they are still stuck in court battles. Meanwhile, Doug's friend tries to figure out what Doug is up to and even says he found a girl for him. But Doug isn't paying attention. He gets home and sees that Elliot is back. Suddenly, he gets a call from Lena. He rushes to his room to answer it, only to find Lena standing right behind him. She urgently tells him to come with her because she needs his help. Doug goes to her house where he finds out that Lena and Elliot had a fight. To protect herself, Lena hit Elliot on the head, which killed him. She then begs Doug to help her, saying she doesn't want to get into trouble. Doug asks what he can do. He says they will find a way out and must act completely normal. He then goes to his shift at the bar. When he gets back, he finds Lena talking with his parents. After a strange conversation, Doug goes to his room. That night, Doug goes to Lena's house to meet her. She apologizes for going to his parents' house, explaining she couldn't stay in her home alone. Doug suggests they make it look like an accident, but Lena says that excuse won't work. So, Doug makes a new plan. He tells Lena to tell the police that she and Elliot fought, and then he left. After giving her instructions, Doug takes Elliot's body to his boat. Before he can leave, the guard sees him and calls out, "Mr. Harper." Doug acts like he is Elliot and drives the boat away. The next morning, the police investigation begins and they treat it as a crime. The police arrive at Lena's house to question her, and Doug watches from a distance. He remembers how that night he had hit Elliot's head with the boat's beam and then used alcohol and cigarettes to set the boat on fire, making it all look like an accident. Doug tries to live his life normally and continues to work at the bar. There, he serves drinks to some police officers who are discussing that very case. Then, a woman is shown driving into town. She goes to the police station and explains that Elliot's trust is taking the case very seriously because he had a large life insurance policy, and all the money is set to go to Lena. Because of this, every detail of the case is being investigated. The woman, an insurance agent, calls Lena in for questioning and asks if she was having an affair. Lena denies it. Annoyed by the questions, Lena leaves. The police continue their investigation and interview the guard who saw Doug that night. The police also talk to Doug's father. Doug later asks the guard what made him suspicious, and the guard says that the person he saw that night might have been someone other than Elliot. Following this, the insurance agent goes to Lena's house to check the property for clues. She finds the broken window that Doug had smashed to help Lena get inside. The agent then visits Doug's house and asks his parents about the day Lena came over. They tell her that Lena was there to see Doug. Overhearing this, Doug gets very nervous. He quickly tries to call Lena but hangs up when he sees his parents arriving in their car. They all go to the police station where the agent questions him, trying to get him to confess. However, Doug's mother tells the agent she will not let her son be framed for this. Later, Doug gets a message from Lena, asking to meet at the old boat. He goes there, and Lena tells him they need to stay away from each other for a while, and then she leaves. Doug comes home to find the agent and her team waiting for him. The agent tells him that she needs his fingerprints and a saliva sample. They put him in a police car where the agent questions him again, but Doug says nothing. He explains the whole mess to his friend and his parents. Meanwhile, the police get a match for the blood sample the agent had provided. Doug tries desperately to prove his innocence, but his attempts always fail, seemingly because of Lena's actions. For example, the gardener who saw them together is killed before the police can reach him. Doug manages to escape on his bike and rides to a pier, where he finds Lena. As soon as Doug gets there, Lena rips her own clothes and starts screaming for help, trying to make it look like Doug is assaulting her. The police show up and arrest Doug. He pleads with the officers, telling them that they know him and he just wants a chance to clear his name. One of the police officers lets him go. Doug runs to Lena's motel room to get her cell phone. Just as he finds it, Lena walks in with the insurance agent. Doug tells the agent that the phone holds the proof of his innocence. The two women then turn and start to leave the room. As they are leaving, Doug notices a tattoo on the agent's ankle that is identical to the one Lena has. In that moment, he realizes that the agent is actually Lena's lover and has been helping her the whole time. He remembers everything and understands that he was just a pawn in their big game. It seems like Lena is about to abandon Doug, but out of love, she decides to leave the cell phone behind, which has the proof of his innocence. After that, the two women take all of Elliot's insurance money, board a flight, and leave town.